folks, it's just that easy. Hey folks, it's just that easy. You mix it up, you fix it up, you do it yourself. He can turn your little shack into a first-class castle. Save you time and money and a great big hassle. Hey folks, it's just that easy. You mix it up, you fix it up, you sand it down, you paint it brown, you measure twice, you cut it once. It's just that easy.
And good evening, folks, and welcome to the Busey Webcast. Yes, you are watching the information that will be helping you out with the how to, the what to, the where to, the why to, the when to, the who to get the job done around your home. We want to make this show as much fun as possible. For all of you watching tonight, thanks very much. And for all of you that have passed on the information of the show to your friends and your neighbors, and they're enjoying it as well, hey, thank you very, very much. I really appreciate it, because the whole mandate of the webcast is to help you with your home. And we'll be explaining as we go along how you can get questions into me, because we do use email that brings about the concerns, the questions from you, the audience, and the member of my Shell Busy House Smart Club. So today, Thursday, October the 18th, we are now in excess of over 20,000 viewers here on the House Smart webcast, or Shell Busey's webcast, and we want to say thank you for being part of that involvement, because folks, when you tune in, I tune up, and when I tune up, I got the information for you to help out. So today, live for the information with your emails within the next hour. Also, during the show, we hope that the thousands that are watching the show are enjoying it, as well as keep in mind that we have a new show every Thursday night. But if you do not get the opportunity to be there at 6 p.m. Pacific time, then you can go to my website at any time. You've got it bookmarked anyway, anytime at all, and very simply pull it down off the shelf out of the library copies, because we have it all there available, and all the past shows are available for you as well. And it's a complete book of information, because your questions and my answers will help you out. In fact, one day, I would hope that my manager, Michael Gibson, will have all that diarized and all indexed and all cataloged, that you'll be able to go in and say, oh, I got a problem with concrete foundations, and click on that, and it'll take you right to that episode. But, hey, that's down the road. That's when it comes to electronics, and right now, I think webcasts, we're well ahead of a lot of the informational, educational type of shows. So that's why I always say, when in doubt, don't pout. Let Shell help you out. And on Thursday nights, as you know, it doesn't require me to do it on the weekends and tie up my weekends, Saturday and Sunday, which we often did for over 30 years on the Chorus Radio Network. But in any event, now, folks, you can send me an email, and we answer them right here on this show. Every show, at the end of the show, will have anywhere from 9 minutes to 12 minutes of live video that we partake in the renovation of the Rankin Farm Home. And the Rankin Farm Home is very much part of my past experiences involved in taking an older home built in the 40s and resurrecting it to the 21st century, inners, outers, and all the finishing aspect of it. So if you're planning on doing upgrades to homes, I want you to really keep an eye on that, because every show, and today being number 21, we've got 21 shows now that you can relate to the last 9 to 12 minutes, and that being of the Rankin Farm Home. So if you're planning on doing upgrades to homes, an older home, by all means do it. Okay, so that is taking place, and today's clips at the end of the show will be around 9 to 10 minutes, and it's going to be hardwood floor refinishing. refinishing of hardwood floors, and I can tell you'll be really happy to see the one that we did at the Rankin Farm home, and also the El Dorado cultured stone that we applied to the outside. And I know throughout Western Canada especially, there's a lot of people phoning me, emailing me, saying, Shell, what can I do with that ugly concrete that comes out of the ground underneath my siding of my home? That concrete that some of it's even got black on it from the foundation coating. How do I go about making it look good? And in this particular case, we put the River Rock foundation, and you'll love it. So don't miss that tonight, right at the end of the show. It's when I sign off with the email answers, and it immediately starts, and it's all there for you. So if you're going to catalog that information, by all means do so, because I think you'll enjoy it. Also, I want to pass on again very quickly. As you know, being part of our club, that's the Shell Busey Housemarque Club. All you have to do is go to my website, askshell.com. As you know, you've already signed up because you're part of it. But please pass it on to your friends, your family, and neighbors and guests, because this is the information show. I don't think you'll find any finer, and I'm not being biased at all, but the information, the education I've had over the last 50 years in this business certainly helps out in getting the job done right. So it's free, and it is free to anyone that signs up. You're free to send me emails, and those emails are all answered before they ever get to the show, but I select out of those what I feel would be good and entertaining and educational for this show. So if you send me an email, you will get an answer, guaranteed. And it's one of those things that a lot of people say, well, you know, I emailed this this person, they never even got back. Well, I get back, okay, and our office takes care of you. Also, we've got all kinds of articles in our newsletter that if you are a member, you will very likely have received your newsletter already this month. And the newsletter is this chock-a-block full of information that you should be very much aware of. In fact, the articles this particular month included chimney maintenance and a checklist to close up your summer home. So if you say, for example, you got a cottage, you've got a summer home, whatever the case may be, what to do to close it up, and what precautions to take and all that sort of thing, fire prevention tips, and also a contest. There's a contest there for all our Housemarque Club members, and the prize is a Black & Decker Gyro 4-volt rechargeable screwdriver. And folks, I say, why don't you get in on it? Because look at there. There's one right there. That's the gyro. Look at the size of it. And it's just absolutely beautiful. And boy, does it ever run great. It's a beautiful size for your hand, especially the ladies in their small hands. That really does the job for you. So that's going to be given away. All you got to do is participate in the contest. So go to the website, askshell.com, and if you're already a member, it's in the newsletter when you receive your newsletter if you haven't already received it. Okay? It is just that easy. Now, we're going to get right into the emails. I want to answer one email before we go to our first break. That way, at least, you'll see that the way that this show runs. And when I do take a break, it's not a long break. We don't fill it full of, you know what, those things that cost money. Well, that information is going to be in the emails. I just take a break to have a sip of tea and continue on. But anyway, here is the first email. And this happens a lot, especially in areas where there are basements in homes, especially basements with the different areas that are lower than others, so you get into window wells and all that sort of thing. Our basement was recently flooded as a result of the neighbors leaving their sprinkler on and filling up the window well and then draining down inside the home, inside the finished walls. The drywall got wet, the dimensional lumber got wet, the insulation got wet, and in fact there was even a crack formed in the wall, which I don't really think the crack had anything to do with the window well, but you know, it's a stretch. But on the other hand, the crack was there, and obviously it became very evident when we had water filling up in a window well. What do we do about going and repairing this. Also, there's a bookshelf up against one of the walls. Do we have to remove that? They're mentioning in here. And what about waterproofing? Where should we do the waterproofing? How should we drain the window well? Well, let's deal with the window well first, because, bottom line is, if the window well wasn't there, then you wouldn't have had the problem. Secondly, having the window well there, obviously the drainage in the bottom of the window well is not working properly, or like a lot of window wells, wasn't there anyway, non-existent. So it's very important to understand that window wells are a hole in the ground surrounded with metal in order for you to achieve a window in a concrete foundation wall so you can get light in and get out in the event if there was an emergency or safety factor. So let's deal with this on a very fair basis. I wouldn't be blaming it all on the neighbors, believe you me, because it could be Mother Nature in a tremendous rainstorm, for example, could do the same thing. But let's deal with that window well. Let's get some drainage into it. I would suggest you get a post hole auger, and you want at least 4 to 6 inch. I would suggest 6-inch post hole drill on a post hole auger, and you auger down to the point of where your perimeter drains would be. The perimeter drains go around your footings, or weeping tiles. Some people call it weeping tiles, but it's perimeter drains, which will lead to the storm sewer system in your town or city or wherever it is that you live. You may even have it off to a French drain or whatever. Okay, so drill 3 holes, one on either side, one in the middle, and that 6-inch hole, now you fill it with gravel. Fill it with gravel. You very simply take handfuls and drop it down in there, and that leaves that hole open for water to run down, go right to the perimeter drains, and away to the storm sewer system. And then you can also, some people will even put some fairly good sharp sand in around it, but leave the drains exposed. Some people will even put a skin coat of concrete in there, which you can do as well. The main thing, as long as there is a good runoff into those gravel post holes that you drilled, getting the water down into the perimeter drains rather than running underneath your sash in your window and causing the problems. Now, that repairs that particular aspect. Any crack repairing can be done as long as you're prepared to take the drywall down. Obviously, you have to do that. And then you can get into crack repairing that is polyurethane crack repairs, could be epoxy injection. All those different types of items are used. If you are in a position that you can dig down and repair it from the outside, that can be done by going and power washing the concrete, making sure that the concrete is sealed with a foundation sealer, over top of which you can go with your dimpled plastic. And that dimpled plastic, like the Delta MS system, basement systems make that available around the country. And then you proceed with the backfilling of the foundation, stopping the water. But again, the water is directed to the perimeter drainage. But on the inside, to make sure your walls are dry, that the insulation is dry, you want to cut at least 2 feet away from the bottom of the drywall. Cut the 2-foot width or height on the wall, but width on the drywall. That way you get a 4x8 sheet, cut it in half. You got 16 feet of wall that you can cover, and the 2 feet is quite adequate. But cut the drywall, take the drywall out, the wet drywall, take the poly out, take the insulation, let it drain and let it dry. Even put some fans down there and let it dry. Dry insulation is no problem. Wet insulation is no insulation. But you don't have to take it out and throw it away. You didn't wear it out. It'll dry out, okay? And then proceed with putting it back using acoustical caulkings and your polyethylene vapor barrier, then your drywall, and mud and tape and prime and paint. It's just that easy, folks. So that's what I suggest on that one. And it's also very aggravating, I know, but keep in mind, accidents happen, okay? They do happen. And believe in an old proverb of mine, he who makes no mistakes does nothing. Okay, so we'll take a break on that note. I'll have a little bit of a sip of tea here, and we'll be back. So don't go away. I'm coming right back.